Dear students, today let us start the seventh lesson, that is systems of particles and rotational motion. First we define a rigid body. If distance between any two particles remains constant with time, such a body is called rigid body. For example, a wooden block. You choose any two particles, the distance between the two particles remains constant. Now, let us consider types of motions. One, translatory motion. See here, we can see pure translation in the examples given here. See here, a block is undergoing horizontal translation. Here this is undergoing translation along an inclined path. All points, all particles inside the rigid body undergo same translation, and here a ball thrown is undergoing a parabolic trajectory, and here a ball dropped freely undergoing a vertical straight line translatory motion. Now let us consider another type of motion, and that is rotatory motion. So here these examples give us pure rotation. Here symmetric top is rotating around its own axis, earth rotating around its own axis, pulley rotating around its own axis, and fan also. And the third type of motion is oscillatory motion. Simple pendulum, here physical pendulum, compound pendulum, all these are undergoing oscillatory motion, to and fro motion. Now let us consider a combination of motions. If we observe a cylinder rolling down on an inclined plane, the cylinder is undergoing rotation around its own axis, followed by translation from this point to this point. So we can see two types of motions here simultaneously. Under combination of motions, let us consider another example. Say here a tennis bat is thrown, and how its orientation is being changed from here to here. See, we can see clearly that it is undergoing rotation, and simultaneously it is undergoing translation along a parabolic trajectory. Let us read here. Another example is Indian club. If an Indian club is thrown into air, different particles move in complicated trajectories, but a single particle moves in simple parabolic path as shown in figure. See here, one particle inside the bat, only that one follows the parabolic trajectory. All other particles undergo rotation, but one point in it follows only translatory motion. See here, this point behaves as if the whole mass of the body is concentrated at it, and the resultant force acts on it. The motion of this single point represents the motion of the entire body. This point, which is within the boundary of the body, is called center of mass or center of inertia. See that one particular point which undergoes only translatory motion is called center of mass. The center of mass, the concept of the velocity and acceleration of the center of mass correspond to the entire body. The concept of center of mass is also valid in case a system of discrete particles having mutual interactions and change their positions with respect to each other in a complicated way during their motion. So now our interest is to find coordinates of center of mass inside the bat. See, center of mass. When a body is thrown, the particles of the body may undergo translation as well as rotation. but one point in it undergoes only translation. It describes a parabolic trajectory. It is called center of mass. It moves as if its entire mass is concentrated at its center of mass. Now let us find the location of center of mass in a given system of particles. See here, if particles lie in a straight line, see for example, two particles are there, they are lying on x-axis. m1 at a distance x1 from origin and m2 particle at a distance of x2. Now where will be the center of mass of this system? See, if these two are connected by a if these two are balls, suppose they are connected by a spike, now you can balance the system by taking the point here, because its mass is more than its mass, therefore at midpoint you cannot balance. Just nearer to this mass it can be balanced at this position. So this point can be called as center of mass of this system of particles. And to find this mathematically, the formula we use is m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2. Here we have taken the two particles along x-axis. We can choose the two particles along y-axis also. So here yc is equal to m1 y1 plus m2 y2 divided by m1 plus m2. Like this, we can take any number of particles. Second, if particles lie in a plane, if particles lie in a plane, suppose here m1 particle and here m2 particle and here m3 particle. For this, the center of mass may be here. See, each particle's midpoint can be denoted by two coordinates, x coordinate and y coordinate. Say this is x1 y1, its coordinates. Its coordinates are x2 y2. Its coordinates are x3 y3. And this is center of mass. Its coordinates are xc, yc. Now xc is m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. Similarly, yc is equal to m1 y1 m2 y2 m3 y3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. If particles lie in space, they will have three coordinates. So xc is equal to like this, yc like this, and zc like this we write. And there is another way also in terms of position vectors. Suppose there are three particles m1, m2, m3 in a plane. M1 particle is represented by r1 position vector, m2 by r2 position vector, m3 by r3 position vector. So for this system of three particles, suppose here is the center of mass. Here is the center of mass. So its position vector is, if Rc, it is given mathematically by m1 r1 plus m2 r2 plus m3 r3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. Now suppose if center of mass of a rigid body is asked. Rigid body means the difference between system of particles and rigid body is here there is a gap between any two particles, but in a rigid body the particles are closely spaced, there is no gap between particles. For such rigid body, to find the coordinates of center of mass, the formula we use the method is by integration method. See here also in the denominator total mass comes here, total mass. Here in the numerator integration of x dm for xc, integration of y dm for yc, integration of z dm for zc, like this. Now let us take a problem and do this. Find the position of center of mass of a system of particles of masses 1 kg, 3 kg, which are at see 1 kg is located, 1 kg position is given by this position vector and 3 kg position is given by this position vector. So now we have to find the position of the center of mass. So this is just like this. So the formula we will be using this one. So solution. Rc is equal to m1 plus m2. So here m1 is 1 kg, r1 is plus m2 3 kg, and this is minus 6a plus 4j minus 2k divided by 1 kg plus 3 kg. So here 2i plus 5j plus 13k. Here this multiplied by 3 minus 18 plus 12 minus 6 divided by 1 plus 3 4. So that is equal to here minus 16i 17j 7k, this divided by 4. See, this can be done in another way also. Here these are nothing but x, y, z coordinates. So x1, y1, z1. These are x2, y2, z2. For example, xc is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2. m1 1 kg, x1 2, m2 3 kg, x2 minus 6 by 1 plus 3, 2 minus 18 by 4 minus 16 by 4 minus 16 by 4. Similarly, yc and zc also can be calculated. Suppose a triangular lamina is given and you are asked to find its center of mass. See, this is made of a same metal and it is having uniform thickness. So to find its center of mass, what all you have to do is just locate. See, it is having three sides. So on each side, let us locate the midpoint. You locate the midpoint. From this, say, this is D, this is E, this is F. Now you draw a straight line from a vertex to the opposite midpoint. This vertex to opposite midpoint, and this vertex to opposite midpoint. All the three lines pass through a common point, and this point is called center of mass of the triangular lamina. Suppose in another example we are given L-shaped lamina having 3 kg mass. This consists of 3 equal squares. Each square has 1 kg mass. 1 kg, 1 kg, 1 kg, 3 kg. Now, let us locate midpoints for the squares. Suppose this is C1, this is C2, this is C3. C1, see here, this is having mass M1, that is 1 kg. The square mass is 1 kg. And its center point coordinates are, see, this is origin, here 1. So its coordinate is 1 by 2. And its y coordinate is 1 by 2. 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Now let us take this square. Its mass is 1 kg. Its center coordinates are, see, first x coordinate. Here to here 1, here to here 1 by 2. 1 plus 1 by 2. And y coordinate 1 by 2. Now let us choose this square having 1 kg mass. Its center coordinates, first x coordinate 1 by 2 and y coordinate 1 plus 1 by 2. Now to find, now let us find center of mass of the lamina. XC M1 x1 plus M2 x2 plus M3 x3 by M1 plus M2 plus M3 is equal to M1 1 kg, x1 is 1 by 2. So this is x1 y1, x2 y2, x3 y3. For first square center x1 y1, second square center x2 y2, third square center x3 y3. Here this is x1 y1, x2 y2, x3 y3. x1 is 1 by 2. m2 1 kg, x2 is 3 by 2, m3 1 kg, x3 1 by 2, 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is equal to here 1 plus 3 4 plus 1 5, 5 by 2 by 3, 5 by 6, just like that. YC. m1 1 kg, y1 1 by 2, y2 1 by 2, y3 3 by 2, is equal to 3 plus 1 4 plus 1 5 by 2, 5 by 6 meter. So in this way we got coordinates. Now let us do additional problem 7.2, which is given on page number 187. There they have asked to find center of mass of a HCl molecule. So HCl molecule is like this. Hydrogen, it is a diatomic molecule. Suppose this is H, this is Cl. HCl atom. So it is made of 2 atoms. Suppose its center of mass will be nearly here. Center of mass will be here. So given what is given, its mass is 35.5 times its mass. So now let us draw x-axis and y-axis. It is easy if we choose one of the two particles at origin. Like this. This is hydrogen atom, this is chlorine atom. Its mass is m1, its mass is m2. So its coordinates are x1, y1. Its coordinates are x2, y2. So if hydrogen mass is m1, chloride atom mass is m2, and this is 35.5 times this one. Now coordinates, it is taken at origin, therefore x1 y1 is equal to 0 0, and x2 y2. Or here you have taken the particles in a line, therefore only x coordinates comes, only x coordinates. This is x2, this is x1. X1 is 0 because it is at origin. So x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to, so from origin to this point, this is nothing but distance between the two atoms, that is interatomic distance. The distance also given, interatomic distance also given. See, the interatomic distance is 1.27 angstroms. The distance between two atoms also given, that is 1.27 angstroms. Okay, now we have to find the center of mass, that is xc. xc is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2. m1, you write m1 only, x1 0, it is taken at origin, m2 is 35.5 times m1, x2, so here to here x2, that is 1.27 angstroms, m1 plus 35.5 m1, this becomes 0, and here we get here 45.085, this multiplied by this m1 by this plus this, 36.5 m1 gets cancelled, and here we get 1.24 angstroms. So from here to here, xc value, this is xc value. So we have found out the center of mass of the system of HCl molecule. Center of mass is at a distance of 1.24 angstroms. Is at a distance of 1.24 angstroms from hydrogen atom. From hydrogen atom, it is at a distance of 1.24 angstroms. Now let us do another problem. Find the position of center of mass of the system of three objects of masses 1 kg, 2 kg and 3 kg located at the corners of an equilateral triangle of side 1 meter. Let us draw x-axis and y-axis. See, there are three objects. It is better to choose one of the objects at origin. Suppose this is 1 kg with coordinates x1, y1. Now let us choose this on x-axis here. M2 2 kg and its coordinates are x2, y2. Let us choose another one, that is M3 is equal to 3 kg and its coordinates are x3, y3. This is an equilateral triangle with each side 1 meter. Each side 1 meter. Now three masses are known. Now we have to find coordinates of the three particles. First, M1 is equal to 1 kg and x1, y1 is equal to, it is at origin, therefore 0, 0. Next, second mass 2 kg, its coordinates see x2, see it is at a distance of 1 meter, y2. It is on x-axis, therefore its y coordinate will be 0. Now m3, 3 kg, 3 kg. Its coordinates are x3, y3. x3 means, see, it is its x coordinate and this is its y coordinates. So this is x3 and this is y3. So this is midway. So here to here 1 meter. So here to here half meter. Half meter. y3. So y3 means this value. So this value means here. See, this is a triangle, equilateral triangle. So here the height is y3. This height is y3. Here to here 1 by 2. This side is 1 meter and this is y3. By Pythagoras theorem, base square plus height square is equal to hypotenuse square. So here write down this. Now suppose here is the center of mass. Its coordinates will be xc, yc. First xc. m1 x1, m2 x2, m3 x3 divided by m1 plus m2 m3. m1 is 1 kg, x1 0, m2 2 kg, x2 1, m3 3 kg, x3 1 by 2, 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg. Here this becomes 0, 2 plus 3 by 2, 7 by 2 by 6, so 7 by 12 meter. Now yc. m1 y1, y1 0, y2 0, y3 root 3 by 2. Both become 0. Six. So these are the coordinates of the center of mass. Now let us do this problem. Let us find center of mass of the system of particles. Say suppose this is first mass. Find its coordinates. its x1 coordinate is a and y coordinate is 0 because this is on x axis. Now this is second mass, it is m, and its coordinates are x coordinate is a plus b, y coordinate 0. Suppose this is third mass, its coordinates are x coordinate a plus b, y coordinate h. Now xc is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 divided by m1 m2 plus m3. So substituting we get similarly yc is equal to substituting the values we get h by 2. To find center of mass of this lamina, let us define a physical quantity called mass per unit area. When you divide mass by area, that is called mass per unit area. Mass per unit area is represented by sigma by A. This gives m is equal to sigma A. Now let us divide the figure into convenient number of sections. Suppose this is O, A, B, C. This is one segment. So now mass of OA BC segment. See here, we want, suppose this is 1 m bar. So mass is equal to sigma into A. Sigma into area of OABC. Sigma into, this is a rectangle, length is 30 units, breadth is 10 units. So 300 sigma, and its midpoint will be here. Say this is C1. Midpoint of OABC segment C1 is equal to x1 y1. So its x coordinate is 5. Its y coordinate is 15. So this segment is over. Now let us consider this segment. See, this is R M N. Now mass of ARMN segment. So that is M2. So mass is equal to sigma into area of ARMN. So it's when it is a rectangle, length into breadth. The length is 30 minus 10. Breadth is 10 units. 200 sigma. Now midpoint. Midpoint of ARMN C2. Its midpoint is here. This is C2. Its coordinates are x2, y2, x2, y2. So x2 means it's x power 20. Y coordinate is 5. Now let us consider this rectangle, this segment. Mass of P, D, E, B segment. This is M3 sigma into area of PDV. Area is length into breadth. Here to here 20 minus 10. Here to here 30 minus 20. 10 here 10. 100 sigma. Now midpoint of PDB segments, that is C3, its midpoint. So its x coordinate is 50, x3, y3, x3 is 50, y3 is 25. So now the data is ready to calculate the center of mass. Xc is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 by m1 plus m2 plus m3 is equal to C m1 is 300 sigma. And x1 5. Let us write the data here first. M1 300 sigma x1 y1 550. m2 is 200 sigma, x2 y2 is 25. m3 is 100 sigma and its coordinates are 50, 25. Now substituting these values in this formula, 300 sigma 5, 200 sigma 20, 100 sigma 15 divided by 300 sigma plus 200 sigma plus 100 sigma. We get the answer 7,000 sigma by 100 sigma.